AI, AI, AI. Everyone's talking about it. But what I find so often is there's so many home care agencies that it just feels super overwhelming. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to get started. This has been a topic that I've been speaking about on stages in front of audiences and really seeing the huge need of opening people's eyes to really the possibilities. And so if you've never used ChatGPT or never used AI and you're really just looking to learn more, this is the video for you where we're going to dive into ways that you can start utilizing it, not just for your business, but for your life as well. And it's going to be a great starting point. My name is Nick Bonitatibus. Today's episode of Home Care Digital, we're talking about how to leverage AI in your life and your business. One thing that's really important to understand before we dive into this topic is that whenever I speak at conferences and I'm talking about AI, one thing I always do is I survey the audience and I ask people where they think they rank on a scale of 1 to 10 when it comes to utilizing AI. And the answers are always so interesting. I get a lot of people that say things like 0 or 1, and I get it. They're brand new. They aren't really sure. But every single time, without a doubt, I always get people in the audience that say they're like a 6, a 7, an 8. And every time I reply after they share this, I go, I'm probably a 4. And honestly, if I'm being really, truly honest, I'm probably like a 2. And I'm here teaching this content. And the reason why I'm a 2 is because I know enough to know that I don't know anything. And that's what true knowledge comes from. If you think that you know it all, if you think that you're an 8, you are lying to yourself. And you clearly, and again, making judgments here, but it's very unlikely that you are an 8 because most people that are like 8s and 9s are people that are like in the tech world that are developing these apps and developing these tools themselves. So that's an important element to be mindful of. But again, it's one of those things that you don't know what you don't know. And so you really have to open your eyes and the opportunity to see that there is so much more out there in what this can do. But also not being overwhelmed by it. And so I want to talk about a few examples of things that I've been doing in my own personal life within my business to use AI, because I think you'll find it a lot more effective when you start utilizing it in your personal life. You'll start to see more ways that you can implement it into your business as well. So one element is through just personal growth. Because I have a lot of conversations with AI, yes, conversations. Don't judge me, okay? I will talk to ChatGPT. We will have conversations. I just hit the voice. So this is kind of like a side tangent here, but you definitely want to use the voice feature and have conversations where you can just kind of talk and have it ask you questions or just like have conversations about it. You're going to get so much more out of how you're using it. And it's so much easier than just typing things out when you can just kind of word vomit and just spit everything out that you want to get out there. You're going to get so much more in return when you do it this way. But because I use ChatGPT in the way that I use it, it knows a lot more about me, so I can ask it really interesting questions about myself, like, hey, what are blind spots that I'm not seeing? Or what's my greatest fear? These are questions that I have directly asked it, and the answers are pretty wild in how much it knows about me based on what I'm doing. Now, if you're thinking that's scary, I get it. I understand that. But the way that I view AI is that the more it knows about me, the better it can serve me. And that's the real key element is information. The greater information that it has, the greater it's going to work for you and really leveraging it in the way that you want it to. Number 2 is through fitness. I have used it for like nutrition and, figuring out, all right, well, if this is my goal, how much should I eat? What types of food should I eat? What's good? What's not? I can like take photos of stuff. There's actually apps that are like AI. I use this tool called cal.ai that actually like I can take a photo of food and then it tells me how many calories it is and like what based on proteins and different things and what are the ingredients that are in that particular food. So again, that becomes a really cool tool. There's all these other AI tools that are coming out that can help you in different areas, but even just like a ChatGPT, a regular chat, you can talk with it, talk about your fitness goals, your health goals, things that you want to do, types of food. This isn't technically like fitness per se, but one thing that I've been very mindful of is that I want to get better at cooking. And so, but I want to do it in a way that's super clean. And so I'm not, utilizing heavy sauces or things like that, but just really utilizing different seasonings. And so that's been really fun because now my cabinet is full of all these different types of seasonings because of ChatGPT. I had mainly the basics, but often I wasn't using them because I didn't know how to use them. I didn't know what I was doing. And so now I have a running chat that I used for meals where it knows what I've eaten in the past. It knows how to create variations. And then it's given me things that are like good ingredients to have on a regular basis. So I use a lot of lemons and limes now in a lot of what I'm creating a marinade or creating some seasoning that's going to be healthy, but clean and give it that extra flavor. I did one dish. It's like a Mediterranean. I'm like, I didn't even know I like Mediterranean that much, but whoo, it was fire. So good. I had no idea. I was like patting myself on the back. I'm like, this Mediterranean is phenomenal. I give ChatGPT all the credit because it told me, I gave it how many, pounds of chicken I had. It told me the exact measurements. I mixed all the seasoning together, right? It breaks down everything that you need to do. But what's been cool is that I'm understanding like different flavors of like what makes it Mediterranean, right? Like I did one recently, the Mediterranean, it's like, oh, we're putting a bunch of oregano in, right? That's like a big aspect of Mediterranean. And so utilizing that, experimenting with like Indian and Latin. And so it's been so fun to experiment with my palate and just utilizing ChatGPT to create meals, create better food, create more delicious food that's still clean and healthy. A third way that I've used it in my personal life is with dating. I know, don't again, I can feel your judgment coming through the screen right now. Okay. I promise you, this is an amazing tool that you can utilize in just like reflecting on situations, right? And maybe it's not dating, but just relationships in general, things. And I know one of my friends who's married, he uses this with his wife and he's like, hey, my wife just said this and this and that. Like, how do I handle this situation in a way that's, more tactful, right? And just like getting better. You're not using AI to substitute, because this is one of the big fears that people have around AI is that it's going to make us dumber. And guess what? It already is. It's making people dumber. But that's on you, right? It's on the person and the individual. You can either use it as a substitute for not thinking, or you can use it to make you smarter, right? I'm using it to make myself better at cooking, to better grow as an individual, to be better in relationships in what I'm doing, because I'm learning not just, hey, here's what you should do, but why should you do it? What's the tactful aspect of this, so that when it happens again, or a similar situation happens, I'm now more equipped to handle it based on the information that I've been given. And so it becomes really, really powerful. Some other quick aspects, right? Just like style. There was a funny example where it was for my event, the Home Care Champions experience, and I was getting ready for the third day, and I was thinking about what pair of shoes I should wear and with the particular outfit that I was wearing. So I took some photos of the different shoes options, and the one that I was going to go with, well, ChatGPT told me that was the worst option. So clearly I don't have much style when it comes to, but when you've got ChatGPT on your side, you can look better, cleaner, more professional in whatever you're doing based on just getting some quick feedback. And so it recommended which shoes I should wear, and I went with that option. Again, don't judge me because I don't have style. I'm working on it, right? Every area that you want to improve in your life, you can utilize ChatGPT and AI in every single area of your life to improve. And again, that can go from like entertainments and interests and hobbies that you have. It can be your finances, creating a financial plan that you want to create, your spirituality, reflection, things that you're just like looking to do. Like I've had these long, amazing conversations of just like reflecting on where I'm at, what I want to achieve, what the goals that I want to accomplish, and really just getting amazing feedback. So these are some elements and things that you can do from your personal side and what I've done that's become super, super impactful. Now that we talked about how I was leveraging it in my personal life, let's talk about business, because that's a big aspect too in what we're doing. Number one is sales. I love utilizing this for sales, specifically with having a review sales calls that I have. So everything that I do is always recorded. I have a tool called Fathom. So it actually records my sales. And actually what's really cool about this tool is that it will tell me how long I'm talking. So if I'm monologuing, it will say, hey, you're talking too much. And it will tell me not to, because again, it's very designed specifically for that particular purpose. But it can also review things that I've done, objections that they had, and so how I could better handle the objection. So it gives me positive feedback. Hey, here's what you did well. Here's what you can do better in the future. Here's how you could have better handled this objection. And so even if you're not recording your calls, because I know in home care, you're doing an assessment, it's not necessarily recorded, you're dealing with HIPAA, but you could still say, hey, what are the common objectives? And then you could even role play with ChatGPT in handling these certain objections. So again, really cool in how you can leverage it for sales. Marketing is a big one, creating emails, creating social media content. I did some episodes previously on both of those topics, from email marketing, from social media. Specifically, we talked about not making those big mistakes. So if you haven't watched that video, check it out. If you want to see future videos that I'm going to do, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But it's really important to look at all of the different areas that you can start to leverage in your business and get your team on board with utilizing that. But it starts from the top. Like, you have to understand it, you have to start utilizing it, and then you can start to have your team to better support them in utilizing it, because that becomes a really important element. Number one way is that you can use AI in your business that I have found to be most impactful. I'm going to share a quick story with you. So I was on a call with one of my clients, and during these calls, yes, the goal is to create video content, but at its core, I'm a coach. So we're not going to make videos or talk about video marketing if your business requires a more delicate approach or talking about things that are really going on. I'm going to support you in that area. This particular client that I had was just kind of getting overwhelmed. Her business was scaling and growing very quickly, and she knew that she needed some better SOPs and was just feeling overwhelmed with everything. And I just said, are you using AI? She's like, no. So I started to show her a little bit, just again, a quick overview on how she could start utilizing ChatGPT for creating SOPs. And she literally starts crying on the call with me. And that was something, kind of an experience for me, and why I start talking about AI a lot more, because I saw the impact that I had. And hopefully this video is impacting you to start to utilize it more, because it is really amazing in what it can do. But I love utilizing it for SOPs because there's so many ways that you can build this out. Whereas, let's say you want to create an SOP. What I always recommend is that you record an SOP in a video format. What this allows us to do, you can use a tool like Loom, Loom, or you can use a tool like Scribe, which is more specifically for creating SOPs. But then you can get the transcript of those videos. You can throw it through AI. It can map out, clean it up a little bit based on the transcription. It can tell you holes in your SOPs, and you can even say something like, hey, if I'm trying to grow a $10 million home care agency, what are the most important SOPs that I have in my business, right? Boom. And it just maps it out. So notice how I prompt it to get the better results, but utilizing this for SOPs and then creating a database of all your SOPs, creating this handbook becomes so powerful. This is just a small tip of the iceberg in ways that you're doing it. I know most people are just using it for like quick emails, or maybe they're using it for social media, but there's so many other ways that you can start to leverage and utilize AI. And there's all these really cool, amazing tools that are coming out. If you're familiar with Engage, they are doing some really cool things with AI. Highly recommend talking with them if you haven't. There's another one called Scribe, where they were actually like record your inquiry management calls and give you feedback live, and just like pull your information into your CRM. So really cool. Rachel Gardner from CareWorks doing some really cool things with AI. There's another one called Care Bestie, where they're utilizing actually having seniors to talk with AI over the phone. Super cool in what they're being able to do, where they're having that communication. The senior is well aware that there's AI, but again, it's that companionship, and then combining that with care, you can actually gain information. Hey, did they eat today? What are they struggling with? So that the caregiver can then be updated based on those conversations. So again, these are very specific AI resources for the home care industry that'll be really powerful. And then obviously there's other ones like ChatGPT and Sora and other tools that exist out there that you may want to know about. But again, I think these industry specific ones are really cool because you don't need to know everything. You can just hire them or work with them and they can help you to implement it. So we want to look at these tools because one thing I want to say, I said this at one of my events and I say this now because I think it's really important. So let me be very clear about this. Are you listening? It is irresponsible for you to not be leveraging and utilizing tools like ChatGPT and AI in your business. If you think that you can just go on and just not take time to do this, it is going to hurt you in the future. This is the time to start learning. And look, you're not going to become an expert overnight. I've spent a lot of time learning and there's still so much to be learned, but we need to make it a priority because it is going to be amazing aspect to help your business grow and scale. It's not meant to replace jobs, not meant to replace you. It's to make you more efficient and better. Start utilizing tools like ChatGPT. If you want some help and you want to learn more, schedule a call. Let's talk. We can have a conversation because you don't need to do it alone. My name is Bonitatibus. Let's grow together.